Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Zia Chishti, our keynote speaker for today. Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Rector, Board of Trustees members at the dais, fellow faculty and staff colleagues, distinguished guests, graduating students, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you to the 14th convocation of LUMS. Congratulations to the graduating class and their families. This is truly your day, as it depicts the culmination of your efforts and endeavors spread over so many years. We are now into the 17th year of academic activities at LUMS. Compared to the nearly 40 students that were admitted to LUMS in the MBA program in 1986, this academic year, 550 students have entered our MBA, Executive MBA, BSc Honors, MS Computer Science, MSc Economics, and PhD programs. Our BSc program now provides options to major in computer science, computer engineering, economics, social sciences, and mathematics. With a total student population of nearly 1,350 and full-time faculty of 75, LUMS has made significant progress towards becoming a full-fledged university. Inshallah, this year we will also be initiating our law school activities. Our rector will provide more information on this regard later in his speech. This has only been possible because of the confidence reposed in us by our students and their families, our sponsors, and the marketplace. I would like to share with you some of the key developments at LUMS over the past year. We have taken several steps to convert our long-term vision of becoming a world-class university with nearly 4,000 students and 250 faculty members over the next 10 to 15 years into reality. We now have a clear roadmap that will take us to this target. Of course, adjustments and refinements will be needed as we make progress. We have initiated work on many fronts. These include formulation of systems and processes to make LUMS more customer-focused, cost-effective, and efficient. Increase in quality and quantity of research output and its dissemination. More aggressive recruitment of faculty. Restructuring and strengthening of our administrative support organization. Launch of faculty and staff development plans. Setting up of new academic collaborations and student exchange programs with leading institutions in North America, Europe, and Asia. International accreditation of our major programs. I'll share with you the key developments in our two schools, the School of Business and the School of Arts and Sciences, where we have taken several initiatives while strengthening our existing programs. Business School has continued to enhance the MBA program and is now introducing a new course in the MBA program on social enterprise management. It is also gearing up to support the new major in finance and accounting in the BSc Honors program from the next academic year. The increased effort on development of cases has yielded publication of 24 new cases over the last year, with another 50 in various stages of completion. Work is already underway to publish case books in marketing and production and operations management. Our cases are now increasingly being used by local and international institutions, and this usage will further expand with the publication of these new case books. Our new Executive MBA program has been very well received by the marketplace. This modular program combines rigorous full-time on-campus studies of 16 weeks spread over a 25-month duration with an extensive technology-supported distance education component. Business School is also preparing to introduce a PhD program in year 2004. 3 new faculty members have joined the school over the last year, and another 4 are expected to join by summer of 2003. We have also initiated work to get our business school programs accredited by ACWIS, a European body. This will help us benchmark ourselves with the best institutions in the world. There has been a significant increase in research output from the business school. 25 research papers were published in journals, conference proceedings, and as book chapters by the business school faculty during the past year. The school will also be launching its own journal Asian Management Case Journal in year 2003, inshallah. Major progress has been made in the NGO managerial capacity building project that was launched last year in partnership with McGill University of Canada and with financial support from the Canadian International Development Agency. Unfortunately, due to the post-11 security concern, participation from our Canadian partners has been limited, but we have been able to complete the phase 1 of training of trainers program for 80 participants from all over the country. In the coming 3 years, we will be training nearly 600 managers in the NGO sector with the help of these trainers. Cases developed during this project and the related experience will enable us to initiate formal programs in various sectors of social management and enable the business school to transition to a school of management in the coming years. During the last year, in executive education area, we introduced several new programs, including our first open enrollment program in Karachi. We have also continued to expand our client-specific programs during the past year. Nearly 1,000 managers and executives benefited from our executive education courses in the past year. The School of Arts and Sciences has experienced major growth during the past year. We have introduced a new major in computer engineering and recast the structure of our BSc curriculum to ensure that the primary objective of developing and grooming the individual is also achieved. From the next year, we are also offering computer engineering at the MS and PhD levels. The PhD program in CS, now in its second year and relatively well established, will have the first of its students leave for a 1-year research visit to UK as part of this arrangement, where we are encouraging our students to spend at least 1 year with the quality institutions in the West to leverage from the strengths which are available at those institutions. As you may already know, we offer a stipend of rupees 20,000 per month to each of our PhD students, in addition to a full fee waiver. Several research projects and collaborations have been initiated by the CS department with industry organizations and other academic institutions. One of our faculty colleagues is currently in US as part of one such collaboration effort. Our economics department started MSc Economics program last year. We plan to extend this to a PhD program in near future. Economics department also hosted the 2002 South and Southeast Asia regional meeting of the Econometric Society this last week. And I think some of you probably also participated in this event. Many eminent economists from all over the world participated in this event, where nearly 50 papers were presented. It is for the first time that such a scholarly meeting of economists has taken place in Pakistan. School of Arts and Sciences faculty continue to publish their work in international journals and conference proceedings. Last year, nearly 50 publications of the school's faculty appeared in international journals, conference proceedings, as book chapters and books. We have continued to expand and refine our national outreach program, whose aim is to enable bright individuals from the underprivileged sections of our society to benefit from LUMS programs. Now we have the first 5 students at LUMS as a result of this program. In the coming years, we plan to expand and refine this initiative so that at least 20% of our intake is from this segment, because if we are not able to achieve these targets, then our relevance for this society and this country probably will be in doubt. We have initiated a number of steps to involve our alumni more actively and to seek their support and guidance. A number of new activities have been launched to establish closer contacts with alumni. We have held sessions with alumni chapters in New York, Washington, and Dubai. More than 300 alumni participated in the 2002 Alumni Homecoming event, now an annual feature at LUMS. One major development has been the induction of the first alumni on LUMS Board of Trustees, Sheikh Muhammad Iqbal, and we are fortunate to have him with us today. We have continued to further improve and expand our library and computing infrastructure. We now have a purpose-built library building with enhanced reading capacity, multimedia facility, and online workstations. A virtual library with online access to a variety of research materials has been launched. We have also invested in subscribing to electronic databases like IEEE and ACM, digital libraries, ProQuest, JSTOR, which provide full-text, campus-wide remote access to several hundred journals, some of them starting from 1800s. We are amongst the few institutions of the region that has this facility. In addition to fulfilling our own teaching and research needs, we have helped nearly 70 academic and corporate institutions to meet their research needs through our business and management information services offered by the library. We are also helping Punjab Library Foundation, National Textile University, and many other academic institutions to upgrade their own libraries. Our Information Technology Service Center, ITSC, has made excellent progress over the last year. We now have 100% connectivity through a fiber backbone to all hostels. Over 320 student computers in hostels are now connected to our network, providing 24/7 access to LUMS network servers and the internet. 3 new state-of-the-art computer labs have been set up in the ITSC floor in the library building. Many IT-enabled systems have been developed and implemented, most recent being the online application system. Students can now apply for admission online, register for courses online, and look up their grades online. Although the last part, I don't know how many people will be really eager to use. LUMS is also a member of the Education Intranet, EduNet, a government project that connects 16 public and private sector universities. All the above initiatives and programs only have been possible because of the generous support and involvement of our sponsors and donors. During the past year, we have received generous support from a number of new donors, and these include Nagina Group of Companies, Shafi Group of Companies, Procter & Gamble, Old Grammarian Society, Adamji Foundation, Atak Refinery, Arif Ijaz, Dr. Zafar Iqbal Qureshi, Luminites, a number of organizations from government sector including Higher Education Commission and Ministry of Science and Technology. I would specifically like to mention 2 special contributions. A contribution of rupees 1 million from our MBA class of 99 and a contribution of rupees 4.5 million by the class of 89 to set up a scholarship endowment fund for MBA students. Thank you, MBA classes of 89 and 91. I am confident that increasingly more such initiatives will come from our alumni in coming months and years. So much for the formalities. Dear graduates, now I would like to specifically address you. We are living in challenging and difficult times. I say this not only because of what is happening internationally, but also where we stand as a nation and a society. In many ways, this situation also offers many opportunities, but only for those who have the courage to dare and think beyond their short-term self-interest. My friends and dear ones, first we need to assess our current situation. We have reached a stage where even words have lost their sanctity. Words like conscience and patriotism have been disfigured beyond recognition. It is up to you, the torchbearers and leaders of the next generation, to get the society out of this quagmire of deceit, hypocrisy, and opportunism. The core values that drive the LUMS mission, merit, integrity, academic freedom, tolerance, diversity, and excellence, is what the nation needs. I pray these values that you have experienced and hopefully internalized during your stay at LUMS will guide you in your future pursuits. The country has everything and yet very little, because, in my humble opinion, we lack a few vital ingredients. What is needed is clarity of goals and a solid belief that systems and processes are the key to sustained success. We have lost many opportunities by relying solely on individual heroics and by compromising on core principles, and not realizing the significance of establishing solid and transparent mechanisms that provide everyone the same opportunity to progress and prosper. It is my firm belief that you, the graduates of LUMS, will need to play an increasingly important role in the transformation of our society. In many ways, my generation and the one preceding us has failed the nation. We have focused too much on immediate and personal gains at the expense of establishing long-term capabilities and social progress. If you do not rise to the occasion to redress the situation, we as a nation may never get a chance to prosper and establish our rightful place in the world of nations.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Zia Chishti, members of the Board of Governors of the National Management Foundation, members of the Board of Trustees of the University, the Vice Chancellor, the Deans and the faculty, distinguished guests and parents, the graduating classes of 2002, Assalamu alaikum. Today we've all gathered here at LUMS to share with the graduating class a milestone in their lives. I congratulate them on successful completion of the challenging program and achieving their degrees. Their joy and pride in this achievement is shared by their families and all of us at LUMS. Ladies and gentlemen, in terms of scope of activity, LUMS has indeed grown from its initial focus on just one program, the MBA, to a stage where we have several programs at the undergraduate, master's, and the PhD level. But growth per se is not the real issue. More gratifying is the fact that as a result of our past efforts, LUMS is indeed a place where studies blossom and minds move, where the search to know and learn constitutes the highest value. It is becoming a diverse institution known for the quality of its faculty and the quality of its students. The climate of learning, the opportunity for growth, and the freedom to challenge assumptions enables us to expand mental horizons and intellectual capacity. All this has culminated in LUMS becoming known as a center of excellence in education. Where do we go from here? How do we see the future for LUMS? What promises and challenges of the next 10 years hold for us? This year, we once again revisited our vision and strategies for growth and diversification. This is a regular feature because the road to success is always under repair. Realizing the need for a world-class law school in the country, we have decided in principle to set up a school of law and policy at LUMS. This will be a 5-year BA LLB degree, expecting to start from September 2003 if all the inputs can be managed. We plan to focus on leveraging the strength of our existing programs and faculty to offer a more interdisciplinary program that meets the emerging challenges in the areas of trade law, governance, and regulation. The organic growth of the university enables us to see a growth up to 200 faculty members and 4,000 students over the next 10 years. However, as we grow, we will never compromise on maintaining our standard of excellence. During this growth, we will keep encouraging students from all parts of the country and from all segments of our society. For economic advancement, we need social advancement, and without social advancement, economic development cannot take roots. I see this as a necessary challenge for LUMS. Hence, the outreach program mentioned by the Vice Chancellor is an important element in achieving this objective. Ladies and gentlemen, any vision for growth has to be backed by necessary development in our infrastructure. We have recently completed our beautiful library and computer center, and are putting the finishing touches to a wonderful mosque. The next building on our agenda is a sports complex, for which the plans are nearly complete and we should be breaking ground soon. In our next master plan, we're looking at a new academic building, more hostels, and to move all the administrative support staff out of this building into a purpose-built administration building. As we grow, besides the infrastructure, we also have to keep a constant eye on our core values and the university culture, what we call the LUMS way. As the student body grows, these values need greater reinforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Altaf Salim, a member of the management committee of LUMS, and myself were part of the previous government. Both of us felt that our eligibility to join the government was due to our association with this prominent university. Hence, LUMS and all that it stands for played a part in our selection. I would like to share with you that on many occasions in meetings in Islamabad and also in the cabinet, LUMS was mentioned for its quality and as a torchbearer for setting standards for excellence in education. This is a tribute to all of us, and in particular, the hard work and commitment of the past and present students and the faculty for setting up all the standards over the years. However, this places a great responsibility on all of us, not only to maintain, but to seek even higher standards for others to follow and emulate. During my 3 years in the previous government, I got an opportunity to be deeply involved with the economic issues facing the countries. These economic issues were complex, with many variables involving diverse and conflicting interest groups. Yet I learned that though the economic challenges were tough, their resolutions was doable. It required commitment and an enabling environment. Wherever this was done, results have started to show. We are blessed with many positive things in this country. We have a strong agricultural base, and in spite of our large population, we are surplus in food, is just one example. And soon, we may become a net exporter of agricultural products. Also, the human capital in this country is basically good, be it the farmers, workers, professionals, and entrepreneurs. They're eager to learn, to do well for themselves and their families. And if in the coming years that enabling environment develops in Islamabad, like we have at LUMS, an environment of hard work, team spirit, and a focus on achieving objectives, then development will truly flourish, as I do feel the basic ingredients are there. I have every faith and hope, and inshallah, our economy will grow. One of the values we inculcate at LUMS is to contribute to our society through active involvement in community service. And many of our students have contributed in diversified fields. Today, I would like to recognize that we now have our first alumni becoming a member of the National Assembly. We have Ms. Hina Rabina Kar, who won her election on a general election seat, not on a reserve seat at the October elections. This is another first for LUMS. Inshallah, service to our country will always remain a part of the culture of LUMS. Finally, to the graduating class, I'd like to say that you got an opportunity to study at LUMS. With every opportunity comes an obligation to give something back to society. You'll be walking out of here with certain rights. With every right comes a responsibility to your fellow countrymen. Soon, you will have certain possessions. With every possession comes a duty to help the less fortunate. So go forward with hope in your heart and the promise of tomorrow. And while you're away, keep a special place in your heart for this institution. It has given you a lot, and you owe a great deal to it. We look forward to a lasting association with LUMS. We wish you well, and may all your promises and dreams come true. We have today Mr. Zia Chishti with us as our keynote speaker. I first met Mr. Chishti nearly a year ago in California. In spite of the pressure that he had been put under by his board of directors, he feels a great deal for this country and its people. He stands for many of the values we cherish here at LUMS. It is a great honor for us to have him here today.
Mr. Zia Chishti, our keynote speaker, Mr. Rector, Mr. Vice Chancellor, trustees of the university, members of the Board of Governors, of the Management Foundation, faculty, graduating classes, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to echo the felicitations and congratulations that our graduating classes deserve. I'd like to thank the parents, the guardians, and the people who were responsible for sending these young men and women to this university and who supported them through the rigorous program which has earned them their degrees. For the hard work and devotion of our faculty, we are most grateful. We are thankful to the Almighty for providing us the opportunity to bring to LUMS the resources which have enabled us to be acknowledged as a center of learning and academic instructions. 17 years is only a brief moment in the life of a university. We still have a long way to go. We need to increase the range of the subjects that are taught, and many more departments need to be established as we move from one challenge to another in our effort to serve the needs of this country and the region. During the last 1 year, I've had the opportunity to meet our alumni, not only in Pakistan, but in the Middle East, in Europe, and North America. And I'm very happy to share with you our pride and joy at the success of our alumni in the challenging jobs they are doing and the good name they are bringing not only to LUMS but also to Pakistan. Despite the major recession that the developed countries have faced, I'm not aware of any of our graduates being without a job abroad. It was heartening to see the network they have established among themselves in the foreign countries and the support they render to each other. I'm happy to announce that we have established an organization called Friends of LUMS in the United States, which will enable our alumni to make financial contribution to their alma mater in Pakistan. We are in the process of setting up similar organizations in Canada and in the United Kingdom. This will enable our alumni to get tax benefit on the contributions they will make to LUMS. Many of their employers have also agreed to provide matching funds. So for every dollar an alumnus will contribute to LUMS, the employer will make a similar contribution. I'm glad to say that even in Pakistan, a number of employers are matching the contributions of our alumni to LUMS. As you know, this university has been primarily funded by the business community. We have also received funds from international agencies, but we have not sought any support from either the Pakistan government or the provincial governments, because we believe that their resources should be targeted towards public sector institutions of learning. In future, LUMS will rely more and more on the contributions that its alumni will make, because we, the founding fathers, will sooner or later fade away, and the responsibility of running and building the institution will rest primarily on the people who have benefited from their stay in this institution. I therefore believe that the alumni should play an increasing role in the affairs of LUMS, in its management, development, and growth. I'm happy to tell you, which you have heard already, that we now have on our board of trustees the first alumnus of LUMS, Sheikh Muhammad Iqbal. This is a very good beginning, and I hope we will have many more alumni participating in the affairs of the university in years to come. We have Mr. Zia Chishti as our keynote speaker today. Mr. Chishti is the chairman and CEO of the Resource Group, Pakistan's largest exporter of information technology enabled services, and the largest employer in the Pakistan IT sector. Despite his relative youth, Mr. Chishti has been an outstanding successful entrepreneur in some of the most competitive markets in the United States, and has been a catalyst for developing Pakistan's IT industry. A native of Lahore, Mr. Chishti received his early schooling at the Lahore American School, was granted his bachelor's degree from Columbia University, and then received his MBA from Stanford Business School. We admire Mr. Chishti's energy and innovation and are honored to have him as our keynote speaker today. I hope that many of our young Pakistanis will be inspired by his example and will look up to him as their role model. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chishti.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Pro-Chancellor Syed Babar Ali, Vice Chancellor Syed Zahoor Hassan, Rector Razak Dawood, the Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, the faculty, the honored guests, the proud families, successful graduates, Lahore University of Management Sciences, class of 2002, ladies and gentlemen. That was the toughest part of the speech, by the way. I guess my association with LUMS goes back 20-odd years, when I first had a glass of milk pack milk. The parents ought to get that one over there. And I've been a loyal milk pack fan ever since. My more personal relationship with the extended family in LUMS developed in 1994, when Syed Babar Ali actually gave me my first offer to come work in Pakistan. He suggested I take on the position of country manager for his then joint venture with a company called Baring Brothers, which was an international investment bank, very successful at the time. And SBA's reputation, as you know, then as now, was second to none in the country as a pillar of the Pakistani business community. And in making me the offer, he said something to the effect of, young man, this may be the best professional offer you'll ever get in Pakistan. Of course, true to my youthful form, I took the rather foolish path of not accepting SBA's generous offer. Now fast forward 8 years and Barings went bankrupt, and I'm here giving the commencement address at LUMS. So, that establishes that yes, even SBA on very, very rare occasion can give poor advice. My next exposure to LUMS was in the winter of 1996-1997, when I led a group of Stanford students here to come visit our culture. Actually, it was a trip both to India and Pakistan, and One of the key stops on the tour was to have them visit LUMS. My classmates left so impressed by LUMS that in the end, when we generated a report describing the entire tour, LUMS was repeatedly cited as the most important and the most hope-giving, more importantly, stop on the tour. This was, in my mind, absolutely true. And by the way, and this, be prepared to give me your applause on this one, the entire, almost to a man, the entire student body from Stanford on that trip cited LUMS as clearly superior in the quality of faculty, students, and administration to the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore, right over the border. Since those years, I've had the very good fortune of developing a more extended relationship with the broader LUMS family. As Commerce Minister, Razak Dawood has been instrumental in my team's efforts here in Pakistan, and Babar Ali himself has become a supporter and proponent of my ventures. And on our end, in our humble attempt to reciprocate, my company, TRG, is working on becoming the largest part-time employer of LUMS students while you're in college. And in so doing, provide the student body with real-world experience as well as some assistance towards their education. So, as part of the extended LUMS family for almost a decade, I feel particularly joyous at the opportunity to congratulate the Lahore University of Management Sciences graduating classes of 2002 on their success. Now, with your graduation, of course, comes responsibility. And my principal role here today is to offer you some insight on how to address the responsibility of the years ahead. Right off, let me acknowledge that I don't have all the answers. I, like you, am still exploring and still learning, and there's a long way to go in that path. But I have traveled the road that you're about to set out on, and so I'm at least somewhat qualified to give you a few suggestions in that regard. First off, I will submit to you that if you really want to succeed on the grandest scale, then you have to challenge conventional wisdom. I will caution you, though, that this is an exceptionally difficult and dangerous task. Niccolò Machiavelli, one of the foremost expositors of modern political thought, in his seminal work, The Prince, wrote about 500 years ago, and it was as valid today as it was back then. I quote, "One should bear in mind that there is nothing more difficult to execute, nor more dubious of success, nor more dangerous to administer than to introduce a new order of things. For he who introduces a new order has all those who would profit from the old system as his enemies, and he has only lukewarm allies in all those who might profit from the new system. This lukewarmness arises from the skepticism of men who do not truly believe in new things unless they have actually had personal experience." So, you've got to challenge conventional wisdom, but it's going to be tough. When I started Align Technology, that was my previous company, in 1997 when I was still in business school, I heard every possible word of discouragement you could possibly imagine. It'll never work, it can't possibly work, you don't have the experience, you'll never raise the money, and so on and so on. However, through this barrage of no's and nevers, I leaned heavily on my personal favorite quote, which was written by a German philosopher named Goethe about 200 years ago. He was a mystic and a writer. Goethe writes, it's very brief, "Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it now. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." So, challenge the norm. Innovate, 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 innovate. And when the world is against you because you are not following the rules, and that will happen, remember that you are seeking a great destiny. And in seeking that destiny, you have to be resolute and bold. So seize the day and take the first step. Now, of course, Align went on to be a great success. When I left in March of last year, I left behind a company with about $70 million in annual revenues, a market capitalization of about $200 million, and most important to me, I had built a facility in Lahore that created 500 high-wage jobs in my hometown. Which brings me to my next suggestion. As you go through life, seek out and proceed from a higher goal. And the higher goal, when you boil it right down to the basics, comes down to the service of others. For me, service came in the opportunity to create employment. For you, it might be the opportunity to educate, contribute to this school, to provide health care, or in simple charity to those in greatest need. So let kindness and gentleness of heart be your guide, both in success and, just as important for you, on the road to success. As an aside, and this is a business school in its origin at least, so I have to make this comment, making money alone is ultimately futile. Money will neither buy you friends, at least not the kind you want, and there are only so many meals you can eat, cars you can drive, homes you can live in, although you can play quite a few video games. And in the final analysis, money is of little comfort in the grave. Don't get me wrong, money is important. It is immensely valuable for providing the basic needs of life and family. Its most important worth, though, comes when it is married to a higher purpose, which at the end of the day is in the uncompensated service of your fellow man. So far, so good. Have a higher vision, be bold, expect adversity, and persevere when things get tough. Now let me get you a sense of how tough things can really get. Very shortly after I left my executive position at Align in March of last year, my board voted, and these are the same people that I put in place, voted behind my back to relocate our operations out of Pakistan to South America. Big tragedy. Here was complete disaster. The operations that I'd worked on for 3 years to build up, 500 families, a showcase facility for others to emulate, eliminated in one horrible, horrible day. So how did we respond? First, we took stock of the situation. I recommend that wholeheartedly. First, figure out where you are. And at first blush, it seemed very bleak. We had no funds. We had no operational base. We had no revenues, no customers, no business. In short, we didn't have a business. We had nothing on which to build a business, except on review, one very, very key strength. We had, in Pakistan, a core team of outstanding caliber. My team consisted of graduates of Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and yes, LUMS. And these were people of exceptional caliber that I'd worked with for years, that I trusted completely, and with whom I shared a common vision of creating employment in this country. And, rising to the occasion, my team sprang into immediate action. Each of my key team members reached out to their contacts to put in place a first round of financing. I personally put in over $1 million, and in short order we had commitments for $2 million. We knew we didn't have time to seek out and win new business. Sales cycles in the call center industry are very, very long, 9 months. We had no starting contracts or contacts, and we were sure that we would not succeed unless we did something fairly radical. And so we did. Necessity being the mother of invention, we went out and with virtually all our funds bought an existing call center in the United States, and in one stroke we had solved the problem. The business we bought had $9 million in revenues, about 250 employees, a client list that had been built up over 50 years. Now we had the customers and the revenues to support a business back here in Pakistan. On our side, on the Pakistani side, my team really went into superhuman overdrive, working literally around the clock, 24 hours a day, without pay for over 4 months. They went without a salary for over 4 months. We held together a team of 90 call center agents and 30 management and admin staff, and continue to train for the new operational challenges ahead, with little to go on other than vision and a promise that we would succeed. And this, if you want to look for a miracle, is a miracle of leadership executed by my team here in Pakistan. As soon as our acquisition was completed in the U.S., we reduced the U.S. workforce. The American call center staff came down and replaced them with a team that we had kept together with our blood, sweat, and tears and continue to develop and grow in Pakistan. And today, a mere 5 months after disaster struck, I'm proud to report our results. Our new company, TRG, is once again the largest private IT-enabled services employer in the country. We have over 150 staff gainfully employed in Lahore. We have revenues in excess of $9 million a year. And we're fiercely proud of our ability to support 150 families. On the business front, thank you. On the business front, by replacing American staff with Pakistani staff, we radically improved the profitability of the business, while at the same time dramatically improving our quality. And on that point, let me say it in no unambiguous terms. Our people in Pakistan are the absolute best in the world and second to none, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. When we're given a fair shot, we are the brightest, we are the hardest working, and we're the most loyal people in the world. And when given a fighting chance, we can and do succeed in a fashion that the world does envy. The competition will not come close if you give it your best effort. In numbers and facts, within 3 months, the call center that we bought went from a break-even business to the highest margins of the call center industry, and our clients, Lego Toys, Seco Instruments, the Los Angeles Times, Southwestern Bell, among others, all called in to compliment on the markedly improved customer feedback that they were getting. And you, by the way, the graduates of LUMS classes of 2002, are the people who are going to give your countrymen those fair shots. You are the people who are going to give our countrymen these fighting chances. You are the ones whose future, with the best management and technical education in the country, is what's going to drive the country forward. And it is on your shoulders to make a difference. So back to TRG. Going forward, at the end of the story, we raised over $12 million in financing. We're buying more call centers in the U.S., and we're going to play the same trick over again. We're growing as fast as we possibly can. By the grace of God, and with the grace of God, we'll not just be back at 500 people where we were a few months ago, but we will be at over 1,000 by the end of this year. And that brings me to my final point today, the grace of God. And this is a controversial topic, and on the subject I will state it bluntly. The religious quest is the most important quest that you can undertake. If you take one thing away from this talk, know that everything else is secondary to this point. Ignore all the secular attempts to bury religion under a carpet of reductionist philosophy. For a moment, still your mind away from the seductions of a material life and ask some very, very basic questions that you won't find in textbooks. Who are you? Why are you here? Where have you come from? And yes, I know there's always some wise guy in the audience who says something like, well, that's easy. My name is Atif. I'm from Model Town, and I'm here for graduation. That's not what I mean. Your name is simply what others call you. It's not who you are. Think about that. Your home in Lahore is your residence, not where you came from before you were born. Yes, you are here for graduation, but the real question is, what is it that you need to accomplish with this all too short gift of life? And when you've exhausted yourself with trying to find certainty in textbooks and with secular philosophy, then turn to your religion. If you're a Muslim, I strongly recommend reading Imam Ghazali's Ihya Ulumuddin, a fantastic work and an excellent introductory text. If you're scientifically or mathematically inclined, the way I was, try Edwin Abbott's beautiful short story called Flatland, a romance of many dimensions. If you're Christian, try St. Augustine's The City of God. Indeed, no matter what your religion or bent, try reading all three. They all contain excellent starting points for the mystical search. And then let the true quest unfold. So, to sum up, here is my message to you, the lucky graduates of the LUMS classes of 2002. Have a higher vision. Challenge conventional wisdom. Be bold in action. Have faith in yourself. Persevere through the tough times, even the toughest times, and never lose sight of the mystical quest. And then, with a little bit of grace, you'll be up here in 10 years giving the commencement address to the graduating class of 2012. Thank you very much.